Setsu is a typical high school student. He has a friend who is constantly interacting with him. He wishes she would stop because she might give others a wrong idea, but Yuhi doesn't seem to mind. Then, out of nowhere, the surroundings changed and a magical circle transported everyone to another world right in the middle of a bizarre land. But it wasn't the first time Setsu was summoned in this world. As such, some metal golem attacked them, but Setsu simply used his little finger to stop it. The entire class was on the run from those things, when suddenly many of the human soldiers appeared to defend against those metal golems, and while Setsu was away from the conflict, he sensed the presence of the demonic energy from it, the one he was familiar with. Then Elka appears and completely takes control of the situation, so others follow her to meet the king of Destinia Kingdom, who informs everyone that their kingdom is being invaded by demons once again. Well, 5 years ago there was also a hero summoned before them and his name was Setsu. He brought peace between humans and demons, but after his disappearance those demons have started invading their land and now he wants all of the summoned ones to help them defend their kingdom against the demons' invasion, but they had no idea the hero who had brought them peace was literally standing among them. It's just that his appearance had changed significantly. Then Elka and Glenn began training all the new ones, and Yuki was getting a grasp of the magic she was practicing. But Setsu seemed to be just chilling on the sidelines. Elka saw him and thought of giving him a piece of her mind for laziness, but upon a closer look, she instantly recognized that it was Setsu and submitted to him right away. Glenn was at a loss seeing Elka like that, but seeing her behavior, he knew only Setsu could make her submit like that. They were Setsu's friends from when he was summoned in this world for the first time. But there was one more reliable friend named Tia. It all started from that moment when Setsu was on a heated battle against Toma. In that explosion everyone thought Cetus had died, but instead he was returned to his world, and if Cetus is alive and well, then there's a chance that Toma survived that battle as well. But before his disappearance Setsu made sure that he made peace between humans and demons. Then Glenn received a summons from the king, and as he arrived as the captain of the night, the king declared war on demons because they were threatening them again. But jumping to conclusions could only mean a meaningless loss, at least that is what Glenn believes. He wanted to at least confirm the situation from the Demon Kingdom. And for that he had already sent a diplomat there, but there had been no word from him even after all this time. But from the king's point of view, hero summoning was a sign that gods were on their side to finish demons once and for all, so now an all-out war would be unavoidable. So Cetus was off to the Demon Kingdom to find out why they invaded despite the peace treaty that was made under him. But Yuhi couldn't let go of him as she saw that Setsu was about to leave. She wanted to tag along, but this adventure is a little dangerous, but Setsu promises that when she becomes powerful, he will take her wherever she wants to go. The scene then shifts to an old jeweler who accepted a job to repair a brooch from a certain someone, but his days were numbered, so he finished his job before his death. And now it needs to be delivered to its rightful full owner in the Demon Kingdom, so his granddaughter Ruri decided to finish his grandfather's last job and deliver this to a person named Dezes. But when Ruri was on her way, she was attacked by a boar, and Setsu appeared and saved her. She asked Setsu to be her guard at least to the port town, and Setsu couldn't refuse her request. As a result, Setsu learned that Ruri also wanted to go to the Demon Kingdom, but due to the recent conflict, the trade had been cancelled, and no ships were going there. But then some of the official knights were making trouble for Ruri, and Cetus came to her aid in an instant. Then they were set to trap Setsu and Ruri in case of some illegal circumstance, but they were being watched by many people, so those knights backed off to avoid criticism. And so, unable to find a sailor to take them to the Demon Kingdom, Ruri booked a room to spend the night in town, but at night those guards came seeking trouble again. And Setsu could have easily defeated them but chose not to attract any attention and simply jumped in the river, or a giant serpent took them away. Turns out the serpent they were riding was the strongest sea god Leviathan, and as they approached the shore of the Demon Kingdom, they hunted a giant squid, and while they were enjoying the squid, Ruri told Levi about her purpose for coming to the Demon Kingdom was to deliver the brooch to Dezestal person. She had no idea that Dezestal was the demon lord. This information just blew her mind off. Then soon Setsu, Ruri, and Levi took that entire squid to a nearby village that seemed to have run out of food because of that same squid that was blocking all the trading ships from the human kingdom and also keeping them from going fishing in the sea. But that problem was now a thing of the past. Then, in their joy of being free of the terror of that squid, the village threw a celebration, and Setsu became a cook for them and cooked a free meal of squid. And all the villagers began to show their gratitude to Levi since she took out that squid, and as the celebration came to an end, Ruri inquired about her connection with Cetus. And she began to tell Ruri about her past. That at their first meeting, she was very hostile towards Setsu, but despite this, Setsu defeated her and yet he extended his hand telling her to keep the peace in the seas. And even when Setsu had the chance to kill her, he didn't, and Levi fell for his pure heart and promised to keep the peace in the seas. But then someone noticed the light coming from the village and assumed that humans had attacked them and rushed in to defend the village against human invaders. Only to discover that it was all his imagination. His name is Bard, and he is the closest aide of the demon lord Desistal. Bard was off to find Setsu for help because Desistal is in trouble. She was asked for marriage by a human named Terran, and although it sounds marriage, he brought a cursed necklace for Desis so that he could control her for the rest of her life. Normally, Desis would not do something like this, but when humans began invading, it was necessary for her to keep her promise to Setsu that she would keep peace between them and humans. Terran apparently ran a large trading company and proposed to Desis that marrying him would bring peace between both kingdoms, so in order to keep her promise to Setsu, Desis agreed to his request. But after learning that the demon had invaded human territory first, it became clear that someone is playing a game behind the curtain, and Terrian is a part of it. So Setsu and Levi took off almost immediately to save Desis. On their way, Setsu became curious about Terran, so Levi tells him about his connection and his super-rich trading company, so if he claims to be able to bring peace, there must be something up his sleeve. Then, just as Terran was about to put that cursed necklace on Desis to make her a slave, Setsu appeared, and the one who was actually pulling the strings had sent his guard with Terran. One of whom was Kajiro. He thought that he could take down Setsu with his magic, but none of his spell could even hurt him a little bit, and judging by his fighting style that contains no magic at all, he instantly recognized that Setsu had returned, so instead of fighting, he returned to inform his master about Setsu's reappearance. Then Desis was just too happy to see Setsu again after 5 long years, because Desis was a lady who loved Setsu too much, but now that the war is inevitable, Desis and Setsu came up with one idea, which is to seek the alliance of the Beast King of the Beastmen Kingdom, so Setsu is now off to his next journey. But, until then, please stay tuned and subscribe to the channel to receive the most recent updates.